Keep hope alive. Oh my God.
Better.
This time I lifted it up.
Oh,
She's doing it over her notes. That's brave.
I did it! I did it! Okay, take it away.
I think maybe the key is going to be moving the mic into the growler, not moving the growler into the mic.
Yeah, like
I don't want to blow your mind.
Like, wait, like putting the mic here and doing it here?
No, like putting the mic where my tits are
Yeah.
and doing it here.
Uh-huh. That is what I did.
Yeah,
but
I think you can go harder.
You know I can.
So, Julie,
Yeah.
what are some things that you can do in 93 seconds?
93 seconds.
Jen, Janine, open question.
93 seconds. What are some things you can do? Well, I definitely can feed my cat in 93 seconds.
I can heat up a bowl of chili.
Ooh, chili. That's good.
Yeah.
That's less than the amount of time that an Uber driver will wait for you if you are in an Uber pool.
Okay. You can also you could load your venture card. Anything, Jen? 93 seconds.
93 seconds. As I've learned in yoga, that's about as long as I can stand on one foot.
Oh, that's great.
All right, that's good. That's good. That's good.
That's about as long in the current climate as a person is outside before they go, fuck, it's cold.
Yeah. No, it is. It's the amount of time before you realize that no matter how many pairs of tights and long johns you have on, your legs are still cold.
You know what? I think it's usually the amount of time if you sit down next to a person that doesn't seem insane for you to realize that they smell like urine.
Or that the milk's gone bad. Something's wrong there. Yeah.
Yeah.
93 seconds.
That's about as long as it took for my other roommates to not eat a quesadilla he made with rancid cheese.
Ooh. 93 seconds. 93 seconds. You know what I can do in 93 seconds? No lie. I can make an omelet in 93 seconds.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know
That
what
is
I
impressive.
can do in 93 seconds? No lie. No lie.
Mm-hmm.
I can complete an orgasm if I'm being diddled by a Scottish gentleman.
Okay, well, I think if this episode is teaching us anything, that it's 92 seconds of diddling and 1 second of, yeah.
Oh,
It's true. So it's really only 92 seconds.
well, that puts everything in a new light. You definitely can't come in 92 seconds.
Neither can I.
It's that 1 second that really makes a difference.
Ladies, just, let us know.
You know what I can
Give us
do?
some tips.
You know what I can do in 3.5 minutes of voiceover?
What?
Convince my new husband that I'm a time traveler from the future.
With some montage, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't believe me?
Especially
Now you believe me.
if I have itty bitty baby welts on my back.
Oh.
Not like the big deal manly man welts, but like itty bitty baby welts.
Ugh.
Big baby welts.
But it's a good
I
thing,
don't
though.
know why I'm making a point of this.
But it's a good thing, though, because as Jamie says, at least it won't leave marks, so that her back can remain pleasurable to him while he fucks her from behind.
Well, now, okay.
Yeah. So that he doesn't have to look at a reminder of his own Cornish game hen back every time he does her doggy style.
You know what? I'd broil it.
It would take longer than 93 seconds.
Would it? It's a Cornish game hen.
Yes.
It's like two. It's like two.
You don't want to eat that raw. Wait a minute.
No.
Sorry, just kidding. That was disgusting.
I'm Allison.
I'm Julie.
That's Janine. We are once again joined by one of our favorite people ever, Jen Moniz.
Hi, everybody.
Because I got too drunk in the last episode, I'm going to tell you now so I don't forget that you can find Jen at J Moniz on Twitter. That's at JMONIZ. There's no one. That's only everyone in the cast of Outlander. She's the only one. J Moniz. Also, if you're in Chicago, and some of you are, consider going to see her show at Rhino Fest, which is Chicago's longest running Fringe Festival, which is a thing that the other Chicago Fringe Festival will tell you is not true, but they are
Liars.
stupid. She has a show called Reverse Gossip that she's directing by a really wonderful playwright, Barry Cole. That is going to be open on January 28th and 29th. And you can find tickets information at rhinofest.org. Also, in 4 or 5 years, Is that accurate for your business plan?
That's accurate for my business
Okay.
plan, yeah.
Go ahead and put it in your Google Calendar now. Go ahead to 2000, not Trump anymore, and write down Barbarian Gelato and Google Barbarian Gelato, because our friend Jen went to Italy this year to go to Gelato University,
Which
That's
is a real thing.
where she learned how to make gelato and sorbetto in Italy with a bunch of other international students, all of whom were glad to know that she is not a racist, a sexist, a bigot, or a toupee wearer.
Which is the nice way of saying that they asked me very politely, "Who are you voting for?" with a look of concern on their face until I answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's a really lovely lady, our Jen, and in 4, 5, maybe sooner years.
As soon as it's legal for a woman to own a small business again.
Shit.
We're looking at a minimum of 8 years.
Oh, God. It's like somebody bean flicked me for 92 seconds, but in a non-consensual way. Jen will own a gelato shop called Barbarian Gelato, and I have personally had some of her gelato, and that shit is delicious.
It is
Oh,
very
thank you.
good.
So we are continuing to talk about The Devil's Mark.
Season 1, episode 11.
And I'm pretty sure that is a series, or at least a season wrap on Ned Gowan, and I just have to say one thing. I will miss his happy face.
And hashtag Gowan for it.
Gowan
you know
for
what to
it.
do. You go to his old man email page and you fill in that contact sheet.
Yeah. So where did we leave off, Julie?
So Galis just Jesused herself by stripping off of her shirt and showing her smallpox scar. So she's going to go to a fucking barbecue. And because the barbecue doesn't need Jamie and Claire, they get to escape. And so they leave and ride on Donis through some beautiful Scottish Highland porn. And then they're hanging out in the woods, right? Just like, let's keep it real.
They're
Let's
just checking
bring-
to see
Well,
if
I
they can
think-
find any crying babies.
I think he's looking
Leave
at the
him there.
scars on her back. He's
Yeah.
getting,
That's right. He is helping her with the lash scars on her back because, he has some experience in that milieu. And he actually says something to her like, oh, wait, I have the note. Where he's like, I don't think there'll be any marks. And it's like, oh, Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're thinking a little bit about your back now, too, but you're also kind of thinking about how your wife's back looks and what you want to see and whatever. It's good. It's cool. It's cool. She's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. And it's a tender scene and he's helping her out. And then he apologizes. He asks to know more about what happened, how they got there. And I can't remember if she tells him the truth first or if he apologizes for spanking her first.
No. She tells him the truth first.
Well,
Okay.
because first we get, I need you to tell me the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I know I said I would never press you for information, but in order to protect you right now, I need to know what the truth is. And if the truth is you're a witch, I need to know that. And if it's not, then I need to know what it is.
And actually, he says one of my favorite lines from the books, the 3 books that I've read, and from the series as a whole, which is he says, respect has room for secrets, but not for lies.
Oh, yeah, that's a great line.
Which
really
is
good line.
such a spectacular line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just so good. He's like, I think you've been lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to tell me the truth now.
Although, you know what? She mostly hasn't. Like, you go back and watch, and she mostly has not been lying to him. She lies to basically everyone else.
Well, she didn't.
Your
tell-
husband, is he not alive? No, he's not alive.
Because you know what? He hasn't
That's-
been born yet.
Let's being honest with an asterisk. I mean,
There's lots of
Well, that's being honest with a screenwriter who
Yeah.
told the guy to say, your husband, is he not alive?
As opposed to
Instead
is
of-
he
Is he dead?
Is he dead? Which is how any
naive?
human being would ask that
Yeah.
question.
No, he's not alive.
So finally, Jamie levels with her and is like, just tell me the truth. What the fuck is going on with you?
Well, first he brings up the fact that she has a smallpox scar, just like
you have a
Galis
devil's
is.
mark too.
So, and he asks her in I must say, a very non-judgmental way, "Are you a witch?"
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like when he asks her that question that like that's a deal breaker for him.
Guess
He's
what?
just
It's not a deal breaker.
yeah, he's just like,
There
just
are reasons why.
level with me.
Can we add just the things that Jamie is good at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie is good at asking tough questions without judgment.
That's
Yes,
great.
that is
That
good.
is good.
Or also with loving his wife, even if she's a fucking witch.
Right.
Yeah.
Or accepting the fact that she's a witch, because that means that he's experiencing things in their marital bed that the other men have absolutely no idea exist.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
good.
I'm just saying.
Or being able to say, "Oh, I know your back hurts. That must be really terrible for you,"
Yeah.
without being a dick about it.
Very true.
Anyway, the list of things that Jamie is good at grows longer. It gets especially longer later in this episode.
Yes, it does.
In fact, the reason this list exists comes later in this episode.
Yep.
The reason that the list of things Jamie is bad at exists comes only in the books, which is that he's a weak seaman.
So he asks her, he levels with her, and then she levels with him in a voiceover montage.
It's a crazy scene. This scene doesn't exist like fucking anywhere else in fiction. Where she's like, "Fine, here's all of the shit you missed. We don't need to see it because everybody who's reading the book or watching the show knows. But all right, here, I'm not going to hold anything back from you. I was married. I loved him. We fucked like 5 minutes before I came here. I have used a telephone and been in an airplane, and I've been to a zoo. I have a smallpox vaccination. Did you know that eventually the internet will exist? I can't wait for you to get to internet pornography. It's going to be great. Do you have any idea that racist, sexist nonsense will eventually be called that? Also, eventually Scotland is going to be totally fucked. Do you have any idea about that? Just wait for the BPD. You're not going to know what hit you, except for you will, because you'll see it running across the moor in your general direction.
Exactly. So she knows everything.
And Jamie just goes,
And you see in the montage, like you'll see moments where he will, like he can't quite believe what he just heard. And he'll stand up and like walk over and put his hand up on a tree like, "Oh, Lord."
"Oh my God, you just went Tracy Jordan to the back stairwell."
I did. "Oh, Lord, flying machines take people across oceans. Oh, Lord."
"Oh Lord, our basketball hoop was a rib cage."
A rib cage. So he has those moments, but then he finally decides that he loves this woman enough and believes her because she actually is telling him the fucking truth. By the way, guys, hey guys, most of the time women are telling you the truth.
I want to say that there is something that I think comes through more in the book, and Jen, you could tell me if you disagree, comes through more in the book than in the show, which is that I think he believes that she believes she's telling the truth. And that's what matters.
Yeah, that's definitely, which is interesting because that's also when we, not to do a spoiler, but eventually when Frank hears this story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Spoiler
believes
section.
that she believes.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
something our husbands have in common.
Yeah. Also a thing
Man,
that is
she must
true
be
in
a
the
magnificent
show
lay.
and not the book. I don't think it's just that. I think that an advantage that the show has on the books, I know this is sacrilege, dear listeners, please do not come at me on Twitter. I'm a delicate snowflake with a verification check mark.
Which means she's heard worse than you can ever dish out.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that the show obviously does a better job with making Frank a multi-layered character. And part of that is that in fiction, you can make a character complex without making them likable in a way you cannot on television or in film. Right? Like, people don't, especially on television, people don't give a fuck. If you're not the lead and you're not likable, you don't fucking matter most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. And in the books, Frank is less likable. Frank is Maybe more realistic. Frank in the books, he doesn't like when most of than the Je suis spoilé. We'll get there. Mm-hmm. But Jaime in the show also seems to accept as fact because he believes that she's not lying. Whereas in the book, it seems like he believes that she believes she's telling the truth. And that's all that matters. And if what she wants is to get back to the D-Rocks, he's going to bring her to the Drox. Mm-hmm. Does that work? Are we all right? Can we do Drox?
I prefer Dick Rocks.
What about the big dicks?
I'm never going to say no to the big dicks.
DRs?
Nah.
BDRs.
Too
the
much.
Docs?
Too much.
The ducks?
Dick Rocks.
Dick Rocks is really solid.
Dick Rocks is pretty... It is solid. It's hard. It's rock solid. In fact, some might say it's solid as a rock. That's
so
loving.
I want to keep talking about this conversation because it matters a lot, and we spend very little time on it. Here's the thing:
it's
we
montage.
spent almost 40 minutes of this episode in our last episode, and yet maybe the single most important thing that happens in the entire first season happens in the last. It's like an afterthought. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe it's once you've almost been burned alive, the rest of it doesn't seem to matter. Is that maybe it? It's just like, fuck it. I traveled in time.
Shit.
You know that weird song you heard that guy singing where I got all weird? Yeah, that's because he was describing my fucking life. It's really weird. Maybe I am a fairy. I don't know.
I think there's a reason that they had to have both these things happen in this episode, which is that it only makes sense that Claire would admit this after she was almost set on fire.
After she was
You really have to have just left the witch trial and the almost set on fire and Galus ripping her clothes off and screaming that she's Satan's bride to believe that Claire would just say, fuck it.
Totally. And at the same time have also fallen in love with someone who really does seem to care what she thinks, right?
Right.
Because we go back to the Spankisode. Mm-hmm.
Spankisode. Why was that not a hashtag at the time?
I don't know.
Retroactive hashtag
We were too busy
Spankisode.
having really complicated thoughts about domestic abuse in historical fiction.
Fair enough.
Also, just real drunk. we got smacked on the ass by Empirical Brewery exploring the science of beer.
Speaking of Empirical Brewery, this episode we have another growler. Surprise. This one's Comet Smash. This is that single malt, single hop action. This one's a little bit more hoppy. It is also delicious. We have had it in the past. It's really good. Empirical Brewery exploring the science of beer. Thanks again. You guys are awesome.
Empiricalbrewery.com. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's let that sit for a minute. Oh God, we didn't even plan that. That was so good. That's great.
We're tuned in, baby.
All right, so where are we? All right, so
they're still montaging,
but Jaime is at least prepared to listen to her, right? That's what we learned in the Spankisode, is that Jaime will listen and take in and process, and then 2 days later, like a man, he goes to you, oh, I shouldn't, you know what? That's reverse sexism.
Fuck them.
Janine, you're quick on the uptake. Don't mind us.
No, and I'll speak for Matt on this one. Yep.
That's a yep. Wait, say it into the mic.
I'll speak for Matt on this one. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
So she knows he's prepared to listen. She knows that she just watched her only friend, who apparently was also a time traveler, get burned alive, so she thinks. Mm-hmm. She knows that her nice, mild-mannered lawyer, we didn't even talk about this, whips a gun out of his pants.
Which was fucking awesome.
Oh, he was going for it. Whips a gun out of his pants, and they, drag him through the pews.
And then they, fucking pile drive him over the fucking...
Yeah.
Well, luckily, a woman taking her shirt off is bigger news, so when
true.
she did it, everybody...
Always.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that Black China's Instagram got hacked? No, don't you dare Google that, Janine.
Crickets, don't do it.
I was making a goddamn joke about the grossness of the world.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. There's a really good one in the Die Hard. There's a good one of those.
So, So the point is that in this montage, which covers maybe the single most important thing that happens in season 1, we just see Jaime listen. He leans on a tree. He's lucky it's not a dick rock,
Lord.
or he'd end up in fucking a time when they thought redheads were evil.
Daywalkers.
Well, but we should talk about that later because we'll get to that later.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
The things that happen in the future as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where do they end this?
It ends with her just being like, "So, what do you think?" Or like finishing the story and him just staring at her. Because she has
Hold on.
Well, no.
It's in Scotland. I forgot.
Yeah,
It's in Scotland.
that's
Hold
right.
on. It's cricket. I will miss you, happy.
Well, I actually think
That
that
makes
it ends with the moment that you brought up earlier, which is that he hears this whole story and his reaction is, so that time you ran away,
Oh yeah.
you were trying to get back to the Dick Rocks to your husband, and I
also to a
beat
time
you
that's not
for it.
terrifying,
And he's
I
just
beat you
like,
for it.
he's just feeling like horribly guilty. Like,
he internalizes it.
he's like, I'm an asshole.
And you know, this is part of why people lionize this character. And sometimes it's silly. Sometimes it's that he's a romantic fictional character who's good at the sex, who's played by one of the hottest fucking people on the whole goddamn planet. And that is why people love the character. And sometimes it's because it's a man who hears his wife tell him an impossible story, and his reaction is, "You tried to save yourself and I beat you for it."
Mm-hmm.
God, I just got a little dusty. I'm not
just
gonna
saying.
lie.
Yeah.
Do you need some more guacamole?
I think maybe I need some more guacamole. I think it's really profound and beautiful.
It
you
is
know?
because he really. I guarantee that I'm going to need some more guacamole at the end of this
And
episode. I'll tell you.
I would actually argue that the moment that Claire falls in love with Jamie is
that moment?
is
That
the
moment.
moment when he says, "I believe you." Is actually, you see this look on her face where it's like she was just like, fuck it all, this is all worth it. But he says, "I believe you," when she just said this impossible thing, and you just kind of see a layer melt off of her, and she's just like, I can't even deal with the fact that you believe this.
I can't wait until we reach, maybe this will be the one. Eventually, we're going to reach an episode where we're talking about this show in the detail and with the enthusiasm with which we talk about this show. And it breaks Janine. And he goes back and starts from the beginning without us, all by himself. And then by that point, he knows the whole theme song. So it starts, and despite the fact that he's never fucking seen more than 2 episodes, he goes, "Sing me a song."
That is.
He was almost there.
Oh, dude. Okay, I'm sorry.
Ninjas immediately swiveled our mics. And
Yeah, to the listening audience, both Julie and Allison swiveled mics toward Janine so fast.
I only know the sing me a song part, but I also know that you're wearing your deer.
Oh, I am wearing the deer sweater today.
You are wearing the deer sweater.
I wore my fan shirt. I can't wait. Eventually, we're going to get there. Maybe it'll be in season 3.
It might be. Yeah.
Okay, so now we know that Jamie's heard the story and Jamie believes her, and now Claire is truly in love with him. And then,
So they're montaging, and she's describing the future.
right.
They're going on
And
a
he doesn't
mystery
believe
journey.
it.
There are questions about elephants and airplanes. There are questions about Edward Snowden. And
There are
Laffy
questions about
Taffy.
Ivanka Trump.
There are questions about polar fleece and its relation to regular fleece.
There are questions about formaldehyde and actually thalidomide.
Yeah. There are questions about cocaine.
Uh-huh.
What is that for?
Mm-hmm. What do you use that for?
There are questions about the mass marketing of Cornish game hens.
There are questions about the 24-hour news cycle.
There are questions about podcasting
And
Which
and Patreon, and
which felt like pandering to me.
just a little. Just a little.
there are a lot of questions about vibrators and what they do.
Yeah.
Did that cross into real?
I'm just saying.
Just
Vibrators.
That's always real.
Vibrators.
But so, anyways, after this long ride in which we hear all these things,
And then it's nighttime.
They arrive at a mystery location. Claire doesn't seem to be sure where they're going.
No.
No, does she say take me home?
Yeah, it's
no. He's. They describe in the montage that she's talking about this, and then when he is talking about Lallybrook. And
so
describing
she
Lallybrook
thinks that
to
Lallybrook
them.
means home.
Yeah.
And she says, take me home. And so she thinks that's where they're going. And then this final night throughout this montage, they're camped down somewhere in a mystery location with a fire next to them. And Jaime goes in.
Claire's asleep.
Claire's is
I
well,
wanna-
she's drifting off. I wouldn't say she
Here's
was totally
a
sick because
moment.
I can't say he would do that.
You know what? I love a half asleep orgasm. I love one. When you're like
can't
drifting
do
off.
that. I cannot do
Ooh,
that.
You're missing out.
I can't do it.
It's hard.
I can do it while I'm asleep. Have you ever had a wet dream as a woman?
Sure.
Yeah. I can do it when I'm asleep. I couldn't do it while I was falling asleep. I would be awake.
It's like drowsy. It's like you're floating on a cloud of
this is-
somebody's fingers in your stuff.
This is what we talked about with the morning sex. I just can't do it.
Yeah, well,
No.
you have
Not my thing.
other abilities,
Not my
Julie.
thing. Mm-mm.
You've got a woman's secret.
I have several.
No, I'm kind of with Allison though. The groggy one. There's something.
Nice.
Yeah. There's something.
I'm all about the combining words today. We'll call it a groggasm.
I like it.
Or grogsome.
So she
That's better.
obviously
Or grogsome.
she
or
obviously
grogsome.
is worn out from riding
Groggasm.
Doolin or whatever the
Groggasm,
horse's
yeah.
name is.
Donis.
Donis. thank
You were thinking Dougal, which makes me think that you were ready to ride the Gilf.
I said Doolin.
Oh, God, I know somebody with that last name.
Sorry.
Oh, you wouldn't.
But you also know a Vanderball. Anyway.
I do.
So,
I do.
Okay.
so she's
Claire's half asleep by the fire.
dozing off, and Jamie's like, you know what would make her feel better?
And he just hikes up her skirt.
He just
Gently, so gently.
fucking gets in there, hand-wise, digitally. He gives her the digits. He gives her his digits. That's what he does.
And what follows is 92 seconds plus one.
Yes.
Yeah, 92 seconds and a yeah.
92 seconds is long for television, you know? We agree. We all agree that that's long.
Wait, I mean, is it like dog years? Are we saying that's like a 90-minute orgasm in dog years?
I don't know. All I know is that I timed it and it was 92 seconds, which is 1 minute and 32 seconds before she has an orgasm from his fucking hand, and that is not
Think about it this way.
realistic.
The reason commercials are 60 seconds to 30 seconds long is because of human ability to pay attention to it, and the fact that they gave 92 seconds.
Oh, I'm paying attention.
Fuck hey.
Oh, I'm paying a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I think this scene is a bit of a crossroads. You are left with two choices. You can believe that this is an unrealistic piece of television, or you can believe that Jamie Fraser will get you screaming in under 2 minutes. And I choose the latter.
I just can't.
No, that's why, Julie, you created this list. This is why this is the top of the list.
It is. He's very good at beam flicking.
No, but I will say it's not the orgasm that she has at the end of this is not like the one at the after the spanking when they have the makeup sex where
Right.
she's like raging, screaming.
More importantly, the one in the episode after the makeup sex where he's eating her out for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's not either of those two. It's a half asleep middle of the night orgasm.
Oh, but it's
It is.
hot.
No, I'm not
if you
saying
were
it isn't
ranking
hot.
Every
but-
sex scene in this series, it wouldn't be in the top 5, but it would be in the top 10.
No,
I would put it in the top 5.
I'm just-
because it's a fantasy.
I'm just saying it's not like she's having the best orgasm of her life. She's having a good one.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I
But
mean,
it's not.
aren't they all good?
Traumatic experience.
Exactly.
too.
Well,
I know, that's what I'm
also,
saying.
so, and you know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Gee,
Hold
that
on,
is a
hold on.
great
Let's
point.
swing the mic his way. Hold on.
What am I?
Say it again.
After such a traumatic experience, like
Yeah.
I.e. the witch trial.
fuck
Yeah.
hey.
And he's able to bring her to orgasm. I couldn't fucking have sex for at least 2 weeks after Donald Trump
Where
was
it's
elected
ju-
president.
Me too.
Mhm.
Where it's just about her pleasure, because that's the other thing, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
she's not jerking him off. She says like, "I want you.
I want you inside me. And
he,
he's like, I just want to watch you.
right. It's just about her and what she's feeling, and him doing something for her.
Right.
And that is maybe the only way, after being almost fucking burned for being a witch,
Being a woman. Edit. Corrected.
Well,
that a lady could like unclench all of her business.
Sure. But it's him doing something for her, but it's also him choosing how he wants to remember her.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Which is that he's about to send her back to the Dick Rocks, and he's
Which
like,
we don't know yet, but he does.
Yeah, he does. Because that's where they're going. And so he's like, I don't want my last memory of her having an orgasm to be something I am eyes closed half remembering.
Right. At that
That's a great
I
point, Jen.
want to remember
God,
the
that
entirety of
It just
That's
moved up.
very romantic.
It
Yes.
moved up to like number 2.
Yeah.
It moved up to cry balls.
Oh, honey,
Yeah.
it's cry balls, and I
bad.
have sex balls. Can you give me the
Do you need some junk oil?
for my
Sex balls.
sex balls?
So it's
Guy balls?
sex
No,
balls.
sex balls.
Yeah, because
Just balls.
as he's proven,
Fly balls.
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
Yeah.
Can you give some junk oil for D's nuts?
What nuts? D's nuts. Anytime. I'm sorry. I'm 12 years old.
Cheeseburger.
Every time.
Yeah.
So Jen makes an excellent point. It is an incredibly romantic gesture. However, when watching it as a person who doesn't understand what's coming, well, other than Claire. And then
Nailed it.
and then you see what comes next. You forget that because the actual scene that comes up is so sad, and like you forget that that's actually what he was doing. As a
That's
person who
that's
didn't
a
read
really
the books,
great
Well,
point, Jen.
because
as the person who didn't read the books, I would not have put that.
I don't
Well, yeah.
remember that scene in the books. Do you? I remember.
No.
I remember some sort of sex when she doesn't realize she's near the Dick Rocks, but I do not remember it being about him giving her pleasure and preserving the memory of her, like, not to put too fine a
No.
point on it, but sort of losing herself to the throes of ecstasy and what you will.
That wasn't too fine a point.
It was exactly the finest
No.
point.
That was the right point.
Okay.
no, I don't think that there is an equivalent to that in the books. But it's
I know there's a sex scene in the books, but I think this is one of the moments where
That's really interesting.
adaptation is cool, right? Where adaptation can do things that books cannot because it's visceral. Like watching one person get off while the other person doesn't, and that is what they want.
Well, and also the books are
Is this
very first person from Claire's point
That's
of view.
true,
And so
right.
that scene from Claire's point of view couldn't have that kind of
Right.
those kind of layers because you see her wake up in the morning and she's very much just like, I had a great orgasm last night and we must be close to Lollybrook. And he says, yeah, go up to the top of that hill and you'll see
Right. Here we are.
you'll
we're
see
home.
it
And where did he bring her, you guys?
to the Dick Rocks.
Here's a thing that's in the books that's not super in the show. The Dick Rocks make a noise. They go.
She describes the buzzing sound.
Yeah, but we don't hear it.
And that's actually a very a sound effect.
Maybe I can do. Wait, hold on. Let me try this. Oh God, this is going to be a mistake.
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
bad
this
news.
is
Bad
bad.
news.
She's
Bad
gonna-
news bears.
The choice is being
She's
made.
going to regret this.
That would have been horrible.
Well, I'm laughing. Jesus.
They make
No.
a noise like this.
Oh, she was going to go.
Can we have an entire episode of trying to
No,
figure out what
let's
the
do
correct
like Julie. Let's do like Meryl Streep doing a dial tone with Chris Cooper in adaptation. Are you ready? You start it. Tick, 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 tick.
So it sounds something like that.
Yeah. Claire all of a sudden realizes that Jaime has brought her not to Lallybroch.
But to her home as he knows it.
Yeah, that he's sending her home, and the look of panic
The
on her face
doctors.
when she realizes
The
that.
doctors.
Mm-hmm.
It's the doctors. Do you get it?
Mm-mm.
Because it's the DRs.
The Dick Rocks.
The doctors.
No. Dick Rocks.
No, I know it's always going to stay Dick Rocks, but come on.
She's trying.
I know you're trying. You're trying to get it
What's
out.
the
of
Dick
it.
Rocks?
Dick Rocks.
Well, because you can't nickname a nickname.
Okay.
I know this.
But
Oh, except for that's not true because Bonnie Prince Douche became BPD.
It's true. Well, you can shorten one.
BJR became the Beej.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin would definitely tell you can make a nickname.
That's true.
He's
Anyway, Dick
full
Rocks.
of shit, though.
so they approach the Dick Rocks, and that's where I will say the thing I brought up earlier, which is that Jaime actually does walk up to the Dick Rock
The King Dick Rock.
and touches it and says,
Who
"Is
wouldn't?
this the one?"
Well, I mean, it's obvious. It's the one. It's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Come on.
But
I mean, I'm pushing my glasses up, but technically they all have to be there because it's a stone circle. So whether or not it's the King Dick Rock, all of the Dick Rocks have to be there. So instead, the noun is the circle itself and not. Stop pushing my drink at me, Janine.
yeah, he was just slowly edging that towards her as she spoke.
King Dick Rock, though, weirdly is in the middle of this circle, right? Am I wrong? On the show,
Well,
it's
I
in the
mean,
middle.
come on. How many times in your life have you seen one dick surrounded by a circle of dicks? 20? 25?
Every time
30
I
at
go to
least.
work.
Oh. Do you want us to
Damn.
delete that, Julie?
No, they
Did your
don't know.
coworkers
Nobody
listen?
listens to this shit.
Okay. All right.
You can delete it if you want, but I stand by it.
Too late, it's existing.
I stand.
It's already
it.
been existed.
So he goes to touch it, and does he hear the sound? Does he
No.
actually hear?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
like
so
there's-
he's not a traveler.
Yeah.
Here is Je suis spoiler. If you've not read the books and you really don't want to know anything about anything, just do me a favor. Take out your headphones for just a second and go like this. Right, and you'll be fine.
I'm imagining that on CTA right now.
Yeah.
Starting now, just for a real quick minute. So eventually, Julie, you're getting another glimpse into the future. It becomes clear in the books that it is possible that traveling through the doctors is genetic.
Okay. Okay, so that means BB, whatever her name is, the fucking redhead's gonna go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That
I'm gonna
Brianna
say
has
yes.
the ability to go.
It's
All
not
right.
just about her.
No, there
It's
are
a
others.
broader thing. Because there are others.
Wait a minute. Is Claire related to Jamie?
No.
No. Well, Jamie
Okay.
can't travel.
Okay. So, all right.
Like, Jamie can't travel. Period.
All right,
End of
fine.
sentence.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't.
If you're just joining us. Okay. So,
So they're at the
D's,
Dick Rocks,
right? And he reaches out and can't do it.
He reaches out. He's like, "Oh, this is the one."
Which,
Right.
you
So
know,
what happened?
that's
And she
kinda real
starts.
brave.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't. It's like a baby in the woods to you two.
Yeah.
You
I'm
bring
not
me
touching
to
that
like
shit.
someday. I'm gonna go to Stonehenge because when I fucking studied abroad, I had what we'll call questionable priorities, and I didn't go to goddamn Stonehenge.
It's not that great.
Okay.
There's one in Oregon. I went to it.
Okay.
Look,
I'm
Stonehenge.
sure it's the same thing. Yes.
Stonehenge is like
Reversed.
you
Okay.
never see this in photos of it, but it is actually within 100 yards of a major highway.
Oh God.
I've
Isn't
heard
that
that,
weird,
yeah.
right? Doesn't that fuck with
Is
your
that why
like
it sounds like
perception of
this?
it?
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, he touches the Dick Rock.
No,
and
but
nothing happens.
I think it's actually an interesting moment that he walks up to it and he kind of touches it casually, like, "Oh, this is the one."
God, does that mean he's willing to go back? Did he think he would get
No.
zapped back?
I actually think that there was a part of him that,
Doesn't believe
Doesn't
it.
believe her.
That's better.
Right.
but the second she starts walking towards it and her hand is like an inch away from it, he grabs her
freaks out.
so
This
hard.
is a thing the book does better. The book sort of implies that maybe she starts to fade away.
Yeah.
Like maybe she starts to go kind of invisible
She does
and
like
he grabs her back. And that's when she can tell that he not only believes that she thinks she's telling the truth, but believes that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment he grabs her back in the show, I think is more loaded in the book. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would agree that it's
Okay.
loaded in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But he definitely sees her
back to-
in the show. It doesn't
Empty.
even matter that she's. Well, we've got 4
Oh,
cans right here.
guys.
Go for it.
This is how serious this episode is.
Listen. You get a second one.
This is Charlatan, an American Pale Ale from Maplewood.
Well, I would say even too, like it's. Well, I just want to make this reference. She was Back to the Futuring it in the book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's-
So she's disappearing out of the weird Polaroid.
Yeah, that's. I really just want to make that reference. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love Back to the Future. And,
Oh
and
God!
and-
Here's how you can tell that I've had just a couple. I was about to say, "Oh, she's Leah Salonga-ing it." It's actually Leah Thompson. Lea Salonga is Princess fucking Jasmine.
Yeah,
But
Or Lea Salonga on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I was going to say the
they are
Crazy
both
Ex-Girlfriend reference.
shining, shimmering, splendid.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You know what? We just hit 40 minutes, and I have 0 fucks to give.
Who cares?
We swore that we would be under 40 minutes. Sorry, Janine.
So he
No apologies.
grabs her back from the rocks and is like, I'm not ready. You know why? Because now you believe her and you've seen it and like, oh, you're upset.
He apologizes for stopping her. Because
Right,
he shouldn't have, because that maybe messed something up or whatever.
Right.
He shouldn't have
He's
stopped.
fucking noble.
And then he
He
says,
wants her to be, because he knows that now they're somewhere with the airplanes and abortions and like women being able to have bank accounts, and he knows that she should work somewhere where
Well, let's not go
over.
overboard. It was the 40s.
yeah,
Well, back alley abortion.
yeah,
Fair enough.
at least that. But he's like, well, there's nothing for you on this side. I'm going to turn away and walk away and you make the decision.
Yeah, he says there's nothing here but violence and death.
Yeah.
And
then he
here
turns and
is
walks
where
away.
I will be. Is this just in the book or is this in the show too? I don't remember.
I'll
Here's
be
where
over there.
I will be. If you need me, I'll be over here. But go. And I'm going to leave you to go because I'm just going to hold you back.
Yeah, he says, I'm going to stay there until morning to
Yeah.
make sure you're okay. I think he says that in both the book.
Yeah, he said it in the show.
Though in the book, he is staying actually at a cabin or something like that. There's an actual house that he's
What
in.
is it about fucking in
it's
a
not-
cabin?
They fucking it later. Remember?
Yeah. No,
It doesn't happen
There's
in the
actually
show.
there's actually a really nice, funny moment in the book. There's a lot of funny moments between Claire and Jamie that they just skip over in the show, in the book. There are lots of
but they
comic.
don't do the scene where he shows up with his face all blacked, like they're gonna fuck, and then they don't. That's not in the book.
No, that's true.
Grr.
But he says he's going to retire to some cabin that's over there. He'll be there until morning if you need it. But in the show, he just goes to the bottom of the hill again.
Right.
He's hanging out there.
And
then
Julie,
she
I'll say
sits-
this: the scene that you love, the sex scene that you love,
Is
from
when
season 2,
is Claude Moore, right?
is in that cabin.
Yeah.
It's a double
Right.
fuck cabin.
Because so it's the same cabin? That's what I said. Why don't I get the cabin?
It's the twice fuck cabin.
Oh, god damn it. All right, fine.
Twice fuck cabin. That is now on the fence as you enter.
Twice fucked cabin.
Yeah, you know.
Hashtag
So
TFC.
he leaves, and then she looks down at her hands for a
Is
long
that the
time.
Family Channel?
Yeah, she's looking at her rings.
I'm going with it.
She looks down at her hands for a long time, and we get the double wedding rings. We got Jamie, we got Frank. Yeah. We get it. There's 2 times. There's 2 men that love you.
Yeah,
you
but
have to make a decision.
It's not just the men, though. It's things like baths and fucking
Then why
Twinkies.
the fuck did she make the choice she made if it wasn't about the man?
Well, it wasn't just the man.
No.
Come on.
Oh, come on. What I'm saying is the woman had scales. And on the 2 sides of the scales, she put Frank, Twinkies, laundry, elevators, the smallpox vaccination, and Campbell's soup. And on the other side, she put Jamie and his dick. And then they weighed out.
On the other side, she put 92 seconds.
92
seconds.
And 1 second of, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously it is about the man.
Yeah.
So we get, God, you know what? It's the funny thing is I don't give a fuck about this scene at all. Like I watched this, 2 days ago? I don't remember Claire making this decision. What I remember her is her showing up at this campfire. Jamie's all asleep, which he wouldn't be. I'm sorry. He'd be awake, freaked out and eating a rabbit he just killed with his bare hands.
Yep.
And Claire walks up and she says, one of you hit me. One of you ladies hit me.
On your feet, soldier.
And then,
Take me home to Lallybrook.
yes.
But we forgot the one thing I wanted to say,
Oh, Julie hit it.
which was when she was thinking about going back to the future and reaching out to touch the rock the second time. I thought to myself, better hope you don't land in 2017.
Oh.
Anyway, Patty, she didn't make that choice. Instead, she went back to Jamie and said, take me home to Lallybrook. Blackout! And so now we know we're going to Lallybrook.
It's true.
And you know what's there?
Jenny.
Jenny fucking Murray. God damn it.
I love her so much.
For those of you who are Patreon patrons, especially you, Kathleen Moniz,
You're the best. You're number 1. You're our favorite
if
patron.
you listen to the live show, you will know that in our question and answer portion, a lone gentleman stood A man
So
among
bravely.
women.
So bravely.
He sounded a lot like if he got drunk, he would sound more like he was from Arkansas. He also sounded kind of swole.
A little swole.
And you sound slow.
You just
do. You sound like your muscles are crowding your vocal cords.
Yeah, your vocal cords are a little cramped because you're so fucking swole. You get burly dog.
And he said, marry, fuck, kill. Jamie, Murtaugh, Jenny. Julie, do you remember what your answer was?
Yeah.
Hit me.
I would marry Jenny, fuck Murtaugh, and kill Jamie.
I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
I said I would marry Murtaugh, fuck Jamie, and attempt to kill Jenny, but she would kill me because I'm no match for her.
That is fair. That is fair. Yeah.
And for those of you watching for the first time who aren't skipping ahead, which I don't understand you, how do you not just keep watching? Maybe there's nobody. Maybe no one is doing this. Maybe I'm imagining a listener who's going, ooh, the next episode is Lallybrock. I'm going to wait to watch it until the day before Lallybrock comes out. So
You're saying this, but there's at least one person that's doing that. And to that person, I say, you are a champion.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
But to that person, I also say, you don't even know what's coming. God damn it, Jenny Murray. Who did you tell me they went to college together?
Yeah, Laura. I don't know if they went to college together, or if they went to something else together, but they were in school at some point together. Laura Donnelly is the name of the actress that plays Jenny Murray,
Jamie's sister.
and she and Sam Heughan went to school together.
He recommended her for the part, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to do scales for this half for the episode as a whole because maybe we want to burn things down less.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try really hard. On a scale from costumes, a Podunk High School production of The Crucible to Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway. Similar kind of persecution, right? Sure. I'm going to go ahead and make that leap. Could I do better? Could I?
Who cares?
Could I? Oh, no. Hocus Pocus! On a scale of a high school podunk production of The Crucible to Hocus Pocus, especially if you're going to say to Bette Midler in 2016, dressing up as her character from Hocus Pocus and looking exactly the same, despite the fact that it was like 16 years ago. That's the scale. Where does this episode, costume-wise, fall on that scale?
I think that it's going to be closer to the Podunk High School Crucible.
Really? Even with Guy Lewis's red shoes?
Yeah. I'm not going to go all the way back to Podunk High School Crucible.
Also, Backwelts. Remember Backwelts?
Yeah. No, I'm going to go to like...
State University production of Crucible?
No. Yes.
Cool.
Jen's got it.
Jen, where are you going to go? Because you've given away your answer.
No, that's her answer. I will let her have that answer. I would say... What's that movie that came out last year? The Witch?
Yeah.
There you go.
Gotta be honest, Julie. The Witch might be higher. The art direction of The Witch is like out of control good.
All right. I stand by it.
Okay. Jen, do you have an alternate answer? No, that your answer is...
Hers was too good.
No, I stick with State University.
All right. Yeah. So now we're going to go... We're going to save the bone metric for last. So on a get up and get a beer scale. On a scale of...
First half versus second half?
Whole episode.
Ooh.
I don't think you can get up and get a beer during this episode.
Well, hold on.
And get a beer in the second
I'm
half.
going to give you a scale.
Okay.
On a scale of election night 2008 to election night 2016.
I failed to see a difference between those two election nights.
Oh, I do.
No, I see a 100% difference.
It's the energy with which you get up to get a drink.
Oh, joyous versus despair?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a complicated episode, right? Because it's a little of both.
Okay,
so where does it fall on that scale?
Election night 2004.
Oh.
Ooh, Julie wins.
Oh, that's good because it's like you're really upset, but in hindsight, you're less upset because it could be so much worse.
Like it is now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jen?
Let's see. No, I would say that it was election night 2008 because I was so not confident that the country wasn't going to. I really
I
thought.
feel that I wasn't either.
Yeah, I really felt like no, our country's too crazy, and then they made me believe.
Oh God,
And I
doesn't
kept
President
believing.
McCain sound just wonderful now?
Yeah, they made me believe, and then I kept believing for 8 years that they weren't as crazy as they have proven to be.
Okay, last scale. The only scale that's positive for this episode.
The boning scale.
The boning scale. On a scale of let's say what's something where somebody has to type really fast?
Secretary.
Too much sex. There's too much sex in that movie.
I love that we both say that.
I also love that. What about war games?
Or
That's not bad.
or the beginning of or the scene in Band of Brothers. Fuck me. Fuck it off. I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with war games.
There you go.
Okay.
Do you want to play
Hackers.
a game?
Hackers is fine. From hackers, on a scale of hackers, or I'll also accept the net.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, to the roller coaster scene in Fear, which is the best finger bang on camera that I can think of.
I don't know, really.
I mean, can you think of a better finger bang on camera other than this episode? All kinds of better bangs in general.
No, fair. Okay. Then I think it's fear level.
Fear level?
I think this is a fear level finger bang.
Is it a Marky Mark and a Funky Punch?
Good vibrations. I can't. I don't know, because I have to admit that my perception of the fantasy finger banging that happens at the end of this episode is
The Fanta
incredibly colored by the witch trial that happens in
Is
the
it
first
the
half of it.
Fanta banging?
I can't get it up for it. I can't. So it's
You
like
literally said maybe 10 minutes ago it was one of your top 5 sex scenes in the entire show.
as a fantasy is what I said.
Okay.
When I'm thinking about it in the context of the actual full episode and thinking about the witch trial, it's very difficult. So I have to go somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
What is a problematic but hot sex scene?
Almost every sex scene ever filmed.
Yes, truly. But like one that really stands out to you.
Well, how about the makeup sex scene in 2 episodes ago?
No, I actually think
No, Requiem for a Dream is too bad. It's too sad.
I think we called out Secretary. I think the spank in Secretary is
That's-
decent.
Yeah,
That's a good
maybe.
example.
Maybe it's like that because you're watching it and it's
Oh, no, Julie, I've got
Yeah.
a great one for you. Have you
Yeah.
seen A History of Violence?
on
On the stairs.
On the stairs.
Oh,
The
yeah.
stairs. This is a good example. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit is hot and very upsetting.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Not the cheerleader. The cheerleader, that's just hot.
That's
That's
funny
just hot.
too. That's also like
Funny and
yeah.
hot.
I remember reading something that said that the director was informed that it was the very first time the stunt coordinator had ever been asked to provide stunt pads for a sex scene because the actors were going on the stairs and they were worried about them bruising themselves, so they had to give stunt pads on the stairs. And he's like, never happened before. Never have I had to give actors stunt pads for a sex scene.
That's a really good scene.
Mhm.
And like really upsetting. All right. So
I won't say that the one in Outlander was upsetting, but I will say that because my general mindset was so upset by the first half of the episode, it's hard for me to judge it
Yeah.
based on its own merits.
So this is
Oh.
likely going to be. Jen,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
one more, just because this may be aging me out of the rest of you, but Don't Look Now, Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie. Anybody seen this?
No.
Oh my goodness, one of the most famous sex scenes actually ever filmed because it's a montage of cutting back and forth between them having sex and then getting dressed afterwards to go to dinner. But they're a couple who just lost a child. And so it's a sex scene that's very like fraught.
Ugh.
But it is also very sexy and then is intercut between them very mundanely getting dressed to go to dinner afterwards.
Interesting.
It's a really, really good Like they're in Venice. It's a whole like thing in the 70s. Check it out. It's good.
Okay.
You know what's a great sex scene?
Hmm.
In Atonement.
Oh, you brought this one up.
Oh, the
When Keira
library.
Knightley gets fucked against a whole wall of books.
Yeah.
Actually, also one of the best written, like in a book sex scenes. That Ian McEwan scene in the book of that is really, really good.
All right.
So we're almost at the end of 2016, and it is possible, if not likely, that this will be the last episode that any of you hear
Mm-hmm.
before 2017. So, in the spirit of that, I would like to ask each of you, what is your favorite thing you watched this year that was either hot, Scottish, or incredibly upsetting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That's
I know my
if it's
answer
two
right
or
away.
more, then even better. No, you cannot choose Outlander.
No, it wouldn't be Outlander.
Julie, go ahead.
Election coverage.
Upsetting?
very upsetting.
Okay.
Womp womp.
You know what? Let me revise this. Let's make this a better present for our listeners. Hot or entertaining? The most hot or entertaining of anything you watched in 2016. Part of the reason I thought of this is because
Lemonade.
midway through this episode, Julie just reached into her bag while we were recording and handed me. Oh shit! I can't actually say this out loud because I'm not allowed to do
No,
this.
you can't
No,
say
you
it.
can't. Sorry.
We can talk about it later, though.
No, but
Julie handed me a movie.
The last
that I
20
lent
minutes are problematic, but the rest of it is incredible.
her. Right?
I
and
will-
I'm gonna lend it to you.
oh well, okay. I will say that a combination of hot and entertaining, and also kind of a gift for Miss Allison Shoemaker, which is just Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters.
Oh God!
There you go. Yay.
Jen, that's a great choice. Julie?
What? I already said election coverage.
No, but I removed upsetting as a category.
Lemonade. Beyonce's Lemonade.
Oh, good
Can you
choice.
define for me again what this is?
Either hot or entertaining. The most hot or entertaining thing. But Julie, real quick. No, actually, both of you. Jen, Ghostbusters, why? Just a couple of words.
Because Kate McKinnon was fiercely funny and kind of crazy pansexual in that movie.
That's great.
And I just really appreciated someone spanning that
Yeah.
in a big blockbuster. I was like, thank you, Kate McKinnon, for showing up, making us all laugh, and just being fucking
And
hot while you
also
did it.
making us all want to fuck you.
Yes.
Like all
Across
of
the
us.
sexual orientation spectrum. It's kind
Yeah.
of like no matter where you land, Kate McKinnon was hot in that movie.
Yeah, totally.
You know what? I gotta give Ghostbusters my vote too in that regard. Because Kate McKinnon and Allison and I had as a
We had complicated reactions to Ghostbusters.
complicated reactions, but I will say Kate McKinnon. Oh my God!
You still get your own choice, but you can second hers.
I will second the shit out of that because she was
Obviously, I will.
so
How many
fucking
times have I talked about wanting to
Yeah.
put Kate McKinnon on this podcast about Outlander?
A lot.
Okay. Julie, you talk about Lemonade. Why Lemonade?
So, the first time I saw Lemonade was the night that it was released. And Neil wasn't around. I can't remember why he wasn't around. Or he started to try to watch it with me and started to fall asleep. And I punched him in the face, essentially. And I was like, go to bed right now. You don't deserve this.
I can verify this because Neil watched it.
And
And
then the
I
next
watched
night-
it with Julie the next night.
And then the next night, I said, Allison, have you seen this? She said no. I was like, you must. Neil, you have to watch it too because you couldn't fucking hang last night. And it was so surprising and beautiful and angry. And it really, like Beyonce, everybody wants to give Beyonce shit. But I think Beyonce is actually
An artist.
learning what it means to be that, learning what it means to be an artist.
Also a goddamn cultural warrior.
Exactly. And this was, I think, obviously Formation was the beginning, but Lemonade really cemented her finding out the power that she has and how she can use it and what she wants to use it for. And I was incredibly impressed and cried a lot. You guys, I cry all the time now.
No, but I would agree. One of the things about Lemonade specifically is I feel like that was a really interesting moment of somebody who became famous before they became an artist.
Right. Yes, exactly.
She was always a great singer and a great performer.
Somebody who always had talent, but who got famous before she became an artist.
And that she didn't become an artist with Lemonade, but she fucking shut down the deniers with Lemonade.
Right.
Yes, I would agree with that.
She got famous before she had a social conscience. And then all of a sudden she understood the weight of her fame and how she could use it and how she could create pieces that spoke to people in a very deep and meaningful way.
That goes back to Single Ladies. It really does.
Single Ladies, yes, but that's more of it's a little bit poppier, but I get it.
That's part of the whole album as a piece of what it means to have your status as a woman defined by your relationships.
Right. But then Formation had a lot of stuff where she was stepping out of things that a lot of people didn't think that she would ever step out of, and then Lemonade was like an explosion out of those things.
Yeah, Lemonade is definitely her most socially conscious work, but I feel like she's been exploring as an artist for a while. But this was
her previous record was about the incredibly controversial stand that being married and having sex is awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Drunk in Love. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Among others. That
the whole album. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good, Janine.
All right.
Thanks for the sign telling us how long we're talking about things. Julie said Lemonade. Janine, what is your 2016 most entertaining and or hot thing that you saw this year? Either is fine.
No one's gonna like any of my answers.
Who cares?
Oh, hit it.
Who cares?
My buddy Josh Michael has had a very good year, and most anything he's been in is actually what I like. So he was in Independence Day. He was the long-haired guy on the boat that was having much more conversations with the government than you'd expect someone like that to have. And he was also in Walking Dead this last season. And those are, I'm going to give that my entertaining, because literally the hottest things I've seen this year are, if I were to divide the two, have been related to Outlander.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, Josh Michael, you get the most entertaining. Josh Michael is, I want to find his Twitter, and because it'd be really silly if ever somehow Josh got connected to our Outlander conversations. But Josh Michael is definitely
#JoshLander.
JoshLander.
If you're listening, Jen is literally going to be the only person who does this.
But yeah, it's that I would separate the two, because it's hard for me, because I've spent the year watching a lot of old stuff.
Sure.
Like Penny Dreadful.
Whatever, you watch the shit out of Westworld.
I fucking love Westworld. As we're talking right now, a friend of mine is trying to tell me how she's so upset by Westworld, and I'm literally saying, give it a chance, give it a chance, give it a chance. Like, I'm just typing, give it a chance.
Okay, we should talk when we're done, because I thought Westworld was amazing.
Thank you!
Yes.
Great.
I'm last. I'm going to say two separate things, because whatever, I fucking can. One is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I talk about a lot.
I need to catch up, man. I'm like 2 episodes behind.
But it's Jen watches.
I do.
It's really special, and you who got Agent Carter canceled are also going to get Crazy Ex-Girlfriend canceled.
The trauma.
Can I throw one thing in before you do your second one?
Please do.
The Handmaiden.
Oh, I love The Handmaiden.
Yeah.
That's the best scissoring you're going to see. I almost made Janine choke just now. And it's totally justified. That's a beautiful movie.
What's the one that just got canceled?
It is the most plot-relevant scissoring you're going to see.
Yeah, so you're the same people that got that canceled, including me, because I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
I also didn't watch it. There are problems beyond that.
Okay.
With girls behaving badly, but yes. But this Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, like, you don't need cable
you
to
should watch this.
You
can
watch
should
it.
watch
First of
this
all,
show.
if you have a television, you have the CW, because it's technically a major network. So, like, all you need is one of those thingies.
Rabbit ears,
whatever,
and some foil, and a 5-year-old to change the channel for you.
But there's also an app. You can download CW Seed and watch the CW shows.
You really should watch this show. It's incredible.
Just fucking. So there's a song in the second season called Friendtopia, which seems more and more to me with every passing day like a viable option as a system of governance. And it's a dystopia where 3 women drink mimosas on the White House lawn after killing all the members of Congress. And then make everyone watch Hocus Pocus.
That's how government
that's the
goes.
song.
That's it.
Friendtopia, all citizens must watch Hocus Pocus. Friendtopia.
It's like a Spice Girls
But it's
ripoff.
also
It's hilarious.
like, it's very moving and lovely and funny and weird. The other thing I will say is a movie that if you have Amazon Prime or know anyone who will give you their Amazon login, which I will.
Nope.
No, Allison. Allison, no, don't offer that.
6 listeners.
No,
No,
we have
honey.
We have way more than that. No,
I won't,
No.
but somebody will. And hilarious. At least one person at this
Somewhere Neil's
table.
asshole just clapped shut when you did that. By the way.
But at least one person at this table has my Amazon login. So it might be 2. It's definitely 1.
I don't know if I do.
Julie, you are the one I know for sure. I think I am probably still logged in on your PlayStation.
I don't. I only use Neil's or mine now.
Yeah, it's because I've been logged in for a while.
Yeah, no, I've never used yours. On maybe back in the day I did, but now we have our own Prime. It's completely separate. Like we use Neil's.
Oh, you use your Prime. I'm on your PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because the shows that I watched recently keep changing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all through my Netflix account.
That's
Anyway.
weird. So we should log out and log back in? Is that
Oh,
what
no,
saying?
you're fine. Because I own all of Outlander Season 1.
So do we. We pay for stars.
Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we'll figure it out later. Ginny is coaxing us on. Is a movie that's on Amazon Prime, which is 72 minutes long, which Jen watched with me.
Are we talking about The Fits?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Fits is 72 minutes long, Janine. It's a first feature
Mm-hmm.
from a really wonderful filmmaker named Anna Rose Homer.
We watched it after recovering from watching a Neon Demon, which you
Oh,
never
sorry.
watch ever.
But it's 72 minutes long. There are no white people in it. Almost no adults in it. It is about a little girl who knows how to box, who wants to learn how to dance, and also about
The Crucible.
being
No, essentially, yeah.
Yes.
right now.
being alone, being afraid to be different, but afraid to not
How
be
is this
different.
the hottest, most entertaining thing you saw this year?
Because it's incredibly entertaining.
Okay.
Come on, you watched it? The last 10 minutes?
Enthralling, sure. I don't know if I would use the word
stopped
entertaining.
thinking about it since February.
Okay, fair enough.
So, also, lots of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of cat videos this year.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
So with that,
By the way, Cat in Santa Hat. Check it out.
if you're hearing this,
Good.
it's so good. It's the best. It's so good.
Okay.
I watch
If
it like 20 times.
you are hearing this, and it is 2017. That's great.
Un
Things
bon
happen like we
année.
planned. If you're hearing this and it's 2016, we'll be back at you next week with more shit that entertained us in 2016. We'll see. But regardless, thank you so much for listening and for making this show possible. Jen has only been here for 2 episodes, but she listens to all of them. And I think that I speak for Janine and Julie and myself when I say that this has been one of the really good things about this year for us. It's been fun and weird and like
Who are you? I love you all, but
we love you all.
who are you?
What I love is knowing there are people in the world who want to listen to this because I want to listen to it, but I assume I am alone in a vast empty universe. So like Kelly.
Me too.
So I say to Kelly Bodden of Portland, Oregon, who I have never met, but who talks to me on Twitter all of the time because of this show. I say to you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Kelly, for making me feel less alone in the universe. That's what I say. I say thank you to the woman who created a fake name to both donate to us on Patreon and follow us on Twitter. To you, Jen Lander Drunklin.
Drunkland.
I say
you.
thank you to Jen Moniz, sitting right here, who tweets regularly about how we make her commute more bearable. I say thank you. And
It's
to
true, you do.
the 0 trolls we have ever had, because we only appeal to women, and so no one is a dick. I say, thank you, 0 trolls. Oh, did you get a troll?
No, I didn't get a troll. I just was like, ugh, trolls. I was like, when you say their name, that's when they show up.
What? And especially, I want to thank our Patreon patrons, Amanda Newton, Beth Locke, Friday Payton, Jen Lander Drunkland, and our greatest,
Our
second
best.
episode she has ever listened to.
Best.
Patron,
Hi, Mom.
Kathleen Moniz. And all of our other patrons, thank you. Lots of you, including those of you who give $1 a month. It really means a lot. It really does.
We bought all this hot new equipment. We pay for the web hosting. And you guys, the more you pay, the better it gets.
That's really true. But it also means that
And the drunker
we
it
get
gets.
to
And the
do
drunker
it.
it
Yeah.
We get to do this show without bankrupting ourselves, and all we really want to do is keep doing it without it being so expensive that we have to stop. And that's what you donating means. So thank you. Also, if you like the show, please
tell people.
yeah, tell people. Do all our hashtags were last episode was hashtag Gowan for it. This episode, do we have one?
We have
Hashtag monkey vest.
Monkey
Vest,
Vest.
last episode.
Also last episode.
This episode.
I don't think we had a hashtag this episode.
Hashtag whatever.
Hashtag 93 seconds.
Julie. God damn it.
Wait.
Hashtag 93 seconds. That's 93 seconds.
There you go.
Hashtag 93 seconds.
Yep. Regardless, whether you're doing the hashtag or not, if you like the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play, wherever you listen. If you like us, please consider following us on Facebook or on Twitter. We're especially funny on Twitter, mostly because everyone who listens is so funny and we retweet those things. If you really like the show, consider backing us on Patreon. Patreon patrons, many of them get episodes early. We also eventually are going to send out t-shirts to those in a certain bracket. We just have to figure out exactly what they're going to say, and that's a t-shirt a season. So then you get a bunch of weird t-shirts. One of them will say like Pamplemousse, and one will say Gilf Rules, and one will probably say Suck It BPD. I don't know. Like
We don't
have
know.
all
We
kinds
don't
of
know.
options. One will say I will miss you, happy face, and somehow we'll find a way to make it sound like that.
One thing we should also say is one of our sponsors is Empirical Brewery, and they're great. They're right down the street. We get their beer every week, and they're incredible, and they're super nice to us. Empirical Brewery, exploring the science of beer.
But really, we want to thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, microphone. Thank you, moon. Thank you, snow.
Thank you, 20 degrees below zero.
Thank you, road. Thank you, bladder, telling me I have to pee.
Thank you, no
Thank
penis.
you. I'm really just going to keep talking until somebody cuts me off. Thank you.
Hey!
Thank you, pretzels. Thank you, beer.
Happy
Thank
16!
you.
Done!
Window. Thank you, space bar.